All right, let's hop to Gamestead Game of the Week. Zach, what you got?
So this week I got a sort of niche one. Stray Gods, the role-playing musical.
It's funny because I see that right over here. Because of Discord. Because of the Discord activity.
Oh yeah, because I played it recently.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Stray Gods, the musical, is a sort of the best way for me to use is choose your own adventure.
Just realized what this game was.
Yeah, choose your own adventure game, which it's entirely narrative, but in the pretense is that you play a Grace who has been gifted the eidolon of the last muse of Greek mythology, and pretty much her power is she's able to bring people into a world where everyone just more or less has conflicts and discussions through musical numbers. So Grace, it starts off with Grace at a finished up sort of auditions for her local band. They were looking for a new member. The rest of her band leaves. She stays behind and sings a little and meets unknowingly, the last muse of the Greek gods that live within New York City. And more or less, she meets her, has a nice little singing moment with her, voiced by Ashley Jordan, or Ashley Johnson, sorry. And then leaves, only for later that evening for the messenger, Hermes, to bust into her apartment, gifting her the eidolon of the last muse, which an eidolon is the more or less physical manifestation of a Greek god's power, which gets passed on to another person, allowing for their story to continue. Thus, dragging Grace into the world of what's they call themselves the idols in the world of the Greek gods living in modern day society, and more or less them being like, so the last muse was killed, and you now have her eidolon. You're the current person to us to suspect for killing her, and we're gonna investigate. And you may, if we don't like what we found, we're gonna kill you. So it ends up being Grace's journey of trying to find out what happened to the last muse to keep herself alive and interacting with the rest of the idols across New York City and different sort of things, from Apollo, Persephone, Aphrodite, Eros, Athena, just a whole slew of people, and just more or less being a point and click narrative of you going to different locations, talking to people, learning about all the different people and what's going on within the idols community, and then having your big finish of the chapter of having a musical singing battle with whoever you're dealing with in that chapter, which the main interesting mechanic of it, where a lot of dialogue games have sort of like the good choice, angry choice, neutral choice. And this one, whenever based on your choices, it changes the musical number from the green, which is sort of upbeat, the blue, which is sort of your blues, jazz style, slower, sort of darker music, or then the red, which is always rock. So it makes for the interactions very interesting because the scenes during the main big conversation numbers changes based on your choice. The color background is always different based on whatever your choice is. So it makes for an interesting thing of like you can choose the same style and just keep it succinct and or you can change it up. So you'll have like an upbeat moment here, then some hard rock, whatnot, which really gives a very interesting atmosphere of watching the number play out, as well as just having the constant musical change up if you choose to it and everything like that. And through these, you make your choices of your story, which alter your future interactions in the next chapters or in the next time you meet a character, as well as the acts themselves and whatnot. So overall, if you enjoy music, like very narrative specific games, I would highly suggest picking up Stray Gods, the role-playing musical, which also has a DLC following Orpheus.
Nice. Shout out to another Gamestetic Game of the Week in the books.